Hello, all my YouTube people. Sorry I'm coming to you from a hotspot. I hope the mic's filtering out most of this music. It's actually my second attempt recording this video because I actually had my mic muted the first time. It's easy to do with these older Logitech headsets. That being said, the last video ran a little bit long, so hopefully I can shorten this one up a bit. So first, the good news. I have the hopes of another temp job, well-paying temp job with an 18-month, potentially move to perm contract coming up with Chase. It is a data entry position, which I think might be a little more comforting than with the city position, because the city position involved making decisions and taking note of like certain errors and everything like that. And if you screwed up, which was kind of easy to do here and there, you'd be in like quite big trouble. They use these huge paper clips to hold everything together. You have to put them on the documents a certain way, and that can lead to them getting tangled together. I mean, I've gone through a stack 2 times, right? One way and then the other way, and then when they scan the documents, they tell me I still missed an app, which is really surprising. And I questioned that because, like, I counted those apps very carefully and made sure they weren't tangled up and everything like that. So you got to wonder if what you're being told all the time is the truth. I can't be more specific with that job. That might even be too specific. I signed an NDA, and apparently somehow City kind of keeps an eye on you. I'm not sure how they do that. So that being said, with this Chase job, it's just inputting data. So all I have to worry about is meeting a certain number of keystrokes per hour, which I've already kind of proven I can do, and just inputting data properly. I just input data, and some other entity, either a person or some kind of AI, decides if these people get what they're asking for. You know, it's Chase, so I'd assume that they're asking for loans or credit cards or, you know, a number of things. And I think that might be a little more appealing job, okay? I probably could have grown into the city position, but I just didn't have the opportunity. When your training class is sitting around for 3/4 of their shift doing nothing, and you're getting paid for that, it's generally not going to bode well for keeping all of the training class. They're going to let the older people go. They're going to let the people go who've been late, who've been absent, who have made more mistakes. I actually ran into one of my old one of the people I used to work at City in Irving when I was there a few weeks ago. Actually ran into her at a gas station, and it turned out they didn't just let me go, they let her go, and I believe 2 other people from our training class. One guy because he was late and absent all the time. The other 3 of us were all about my age, between 50-ish and 45. The only person who really had any tarnish on their record as far as being late goes was me. I was about 45 minutes late for work one day because of a traffic issue, and I'm not familiar with Irving. I just couldn't really, at that point, get to work on time. I explained the situation. I don't know if that was part of the factor. I suspect it was just more my age. And then they had that to work with as well. One of the other people they let go has a heart condition. So once we started sitting around most of our shift, and then our trainer started saying that peak season wasn't like peak season used to be anymore, I just had a feeling about staying in, that I wasn't going to, we just weren't, a few of us weren't going to make it out of training, you know. Whether that was going to be me or not was kind of up in the air. But here we are. So I really feel like this might be better for me. The job is in Louisville, and I live in Arlington, so we are talking about an even longer commute than to city. It is 5 days a week, which I don't like from a commute cost standpoint, but I think the 4x10 schedule was starting to get to me as well. I like a 4x10, but it was getting to the point where I only had 2 or 3 waking hours at home if I was lucky, less if I had errands to do after work. So, basically what it comes down to is I just was already kind of starting to feel miserable. I wouldn't have left it. I would have at least finished my contract, but I was on work days, I was literally miserable. I was already kind of getting to the point where I would wake up in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, realize I had about 15-20 minutes to get ready, and maybe give my cats a kiss goodbye, make sure they had food, clean litter box, and then I would leave. I would have a 45-minute commute to work, an hour and a half back some days, and it was just getting, it got to where I didn't even notice the extra day off because I spent all of it sleeping. And that's not the point of the thing. The point is to have 3 usable days off. If it would have been 5 minutes away, it wouldn't have been a problem. But this job also pays a little more, so I feel like I'm being compensated for the commute. Even though I am going to have to commute 1 extra day a week with this job, I feel like the benefit of having more hours to get stuff done in a day and spend with my felines, who are pretty needy for attention sometimes, is going to be beneficial. So we'll see how all of that goes. There's something kind of different and maybe somewhat negative I sort of want to talk about in this video, and that is the fact that it seems like temp jobs have really kind of gone off the rails. When I was younger, temp work was a really good way to get a job quickly and expediently and be able to do it for like 6 months, a year, 18 months. Not have a whole lot to learn, because that's why they're getting a temp person. They're putting you in a fairly easy job role. Most of them were fairly good paying jobs. You didn't need like a huge amount of special stuff to get one, right? But now it seems like almost all jobs are temp to hire. I mean, if a retail location has a 90-day probation period, that's temp to hire. You've got to make it through that probation. But let me show you what I mean here. Let me read you a couple of jobs off of the site here. Go back to the first page of results. So here's one for a warehouse operations manager. It pays $30 to $40 an hour, which is pretty darn good. I mean, There's also one right under that, probably with the same place, warehouse safety and security supervisor. Both of those pay $30 to $40 an hour. They're both in Fort Worth, which can still be like huge far away for somebody that lives in Arlington. Arlington, like, is an extremely long city. I mean, if you have to go all the way across Arlington the long way, I mean, you're talking a 30-40 minute commute. So you just keep that in mind. But both of these jobs probably require some serious things. They want a certain amount of experience now. Here's an ALO training supervisor. There's a massive list of responsibilities here. There's probably a list of 30 things that are going to be your responsibility. $20 to $25 an hour. And the qualifications are basic computer skills, 1 to 2 years related experience and or leading training in warehousing or distribution operations preferred. I don't technically qualify for that. 1 to 2 years experience with managing and or leading training with OSHA pit regulations. Also don't qualify for that. So this isn't a temp job. This is a 18-month probation before they decide if you're going to be the one to go permanent. And a lot of the jobs listed here like this. Warehouse administrative assistant, $18 to $21 an hour. High school diploma or equivalent. Previous experience in administrative or warehouse support role is preferred. I mean, I could technically fudge that because I worked in a retail locations warehouse, but that really would be fudging it. Proficiency in Microsoft. Warehouse operations supervisor. Again, a list of 30 or 40 things. Qualifications. Bachelor's degree in engineering, logistics, business operations, or a related field. Or 2 years of demonstrated managerial experience leading teams. Bilingual English-Spanish desired but not required. I guess my point here is tool repair mechanic, medical assistant, bilingual LVN, bilingual registered nurse, logistics manager, route planner, $36 an hour. Logistics manager, route planner, right? Minimum qualification, knowledge of route analysis and logistics, knowledge in supply chain analytics. I have no knowledge in supply chain analytics. I do plan routes for my current job, or at least I did when I was doing it more by myself. The point is, though, that sanitation worker, warehouse sanitation worker, $16.50 per hour, which is not almost not a survivable wage at this point. Healthcare, life sciences, medical assistant. Let's see, what do they want? High school diploma, nationally certified or registered medical assistant. And there's a lot of medical assistant stuff here. And I know what everybody's saying. Well, gee, Goemon, why don't you just go out and do this stuff? And people, I don't know what kind of people actually think you can just do this stuff with no frickin' money, no frickin' time, no way to pay your rent. That is what I'm concerned about right now. Okay? But I guess what I'm saying here is that these just don't seem like temp jobs. Dental prosthetic specialist, pharmacy technician, sales associate, part-time. I qualify for that, but it's only Saturday, Sunday, and one weekday at $28 to $30 an hour, but, 3 days a week, Who knows if they're even full days? And you have to meet. They're only working you 3 days, and you have to meet analytics. You know, I get this. I get it, but at the same time, it just doesn't seem like these are temp jobs anymore. You know, these are try before you buy. You know, people want to try you out, put you on a really long probation period, and then probably say no. I mean, can you imagine working at a place for 18 months and then them saying, well, we just haven't been satisfied with your work, bye. You know, that's just them using you and then realizing they can just use somebody else. Because when you're working at the temp agency, with the temp agency, you're usually making like $4 an hour less. So that $16.50 an hour job could go up to almost $20 if you manage to become permanent. But not all these jobs are like that. I do know my cousin Kevin, that's the name he uses. He uses his name on YouTube. My cousin Kevin started at a temp job, and he's still there, to my knowledge, and has done extremely well. But I'd love his opinion on all this stuff. And what I'm about to say, my brother also is looking for employment. We were kind of taught to always look for your next job by a second cousin of ours. So, I'd love their opinions on all this stuff. I think it'd be really valuable. But another huge stress is realizing that it's like you come in every day and this thing's temporary. You know, for 18 months, it's temporary. They could literally let you go anytime for any reason, especially in a state like Texas, with no word at all. No one has to tell you why they're letting you go. No one has to communicate with you in any way once you've been released from your contract. And things like that hanging over my head, like sitting at work going, this is temp, I can't screw up, is very... It has nothing to do with confidence or anything like that. I'm confident I can do the job, but there's always this thing looming over your head, and because it's looming there, you can't relax. You also can't do anything with your money. You know, you've got to try and save all the money you can because this job might disappear. You can't get yourself a new car or a new RV or anything like that. And once the job goes permanent, what real guarantees do you have? I mean, they're paying you more at that point, and you still live in a state where they could release you at any time, you know? But while the job is temporary, it's just very... I just wonder if Kevin felt that way at first, like, you know, if it was nerve-wracking. I find it very nerve-wracking. Well, anyway, the video's gone long. It looks like the audio has recorded this time, hopefully. So I'm going to go ahead and get this uploaded before I leave this hotspot here, and hopefully you guys can watch it and get some opinions in. I guess what I'm saying is that the whole temp thing has sort of become not exactly a joke, but don't be fooled by thinking it's still temp, or that it's not just try before you buy. There's a lot of temp jobs back in the day weren't the type of thing that would go permanent. You know, we need a person during this time of year, and you know, you could get hired for that next time. I used to know a few people who had like 3 or 4 temp jobs they did throughout the year. For a certain number, they'd work for UPS for the 3 months during winter, because that's a busy time of year, Christmas and everything. Then, you know, when that contract was over, they would move on to the next thing. They'd go on, you know, and then they would kind of start it all over. They were in like a rotational set of temporary contracts that guaranteed that they could get their stuff done. That just doesn't seem to happen anymore. I'm not saying the option of moving permanent is not great, but I think it's changed the landscape of the whole thing. Anyway, this video has gone longer than I want. Please like and subscribe. Just trying to grow my channel. And it's good talking to you guys. Sorry I've been gone. And maybe I'll do another video on all that. Goemonronin signing out. Have a good one.